Well, listen, this week, the first U.S. Ebola patient dies. Thomas Eric Duncan dies of the disease. He's the first person in the United States to be diagnosed in the United States with it. He came back from a trip to Liberia, and now he is dead, according to officials at the Texas Presbyterian Hospital. It's profound, and this is what they say in the statement. It is with profound sadness and heartfelt disappointment that we inform you of the death of Thomas Eric Duncan this morning at 7:51 a.m. Mr. Duncan succumbed to Ebola. He fought courageously in his battle. Our professionals and doctors and nurses in the unit, as well as the entire Texas Presbyterian Hospital Dallas community, also grieve his passing. He was 42. He was critical condition. Now, there's still individuals that are being quarantined because they came in contact with Mr. Duncan prior to his diagnosis with Ebola, and we'll have to see what happens with them. But I would be remiss if I did not stop right here and give a huge shout out to all the doctors and all the nurses all across this great country who are working and putting themselves in harm's way to make sure the American people stay safe. I'm talking about those nurses in Omaha who volunteered to be with the NBC cameraman who also has Ebola, and those individuals that are working in Western Africa, who, even though Ebola is running rampant, they still provide care to those Ebola patients. That's what heroes look like, America. And it's very sad that we lost this guy's life in the struggle and fight for Ebola. And we'll have to see what happens next. But I mean, there's no question that this is a pandemic, and it could happen in the United States and it could happen at any time. But I want to also say one other thing on this whole situation. So there's all these people out there who are talking about how we need to block all flights coming from Western Africa. That's just hogwash. It doesn't make any sense. And here's why. Thing number one. So you block the flight coming from Liberia. What happens if Ebola then spreads to China? Are we going to block all flights coming from China? What happens if it goes to Canada? Are we going to block all flights for going from Canada? There's an Ebola case in Spain. Are we going to block all flights coming from Spain? That logic doesn't make any sense at all. What we need to do, the best job we can do, is finding out how to contain it and making sure that all of our healthcare professionals have the resources they need to treat the disease when it shows up on their doorstep. You cannot erect a bubble around America. And all the crazy people out there think you can erect a bubble around America to protect us from Ebola or protect us from terrorism or to protect us from all this other stuff. They've lost their minds. How we protect ourselves is by being prepared, right? Detecting it as early as possible and treating it as early as possible. That is how we protect ourselves, America. Not this hogwash and malarkey that you hear from all these maniacs all across the country.